source online. Weapons systems online. All functioning systems nominal.
Hello, welcome to the Amazing Live Show. I am A-MEZ-ING, of course, and it's good to see you guys again. I know it's been a while since I last went on live because I have decided to stream only twice a week from now on. So today is gonna be another special episode. Actually, I've been saying that every episode also is a special episode, but today is gonna be really special because we're gonna have a guest speaker who comes all the way from across the other side of the planet. We're gonna have AWAMU MOJA from Luxembourg. All right, so this is even beyond Asia. This is beyond our normal. And the thing is, I think it's great that we actually have this live stream session going on because the world right now is under the pandemic and nobody's able to travel out and see each other, and especially for the photography world, everybody is stuck at home. You're not able to go out and shoot and things like that, and you're not able to interact with people. And because of this, I think live streaming is one of the best ways to actually connect with one another, and this is why I started the show, to actually foster a human connection during these very extraordinary times. Okay, so before we continue, of course, I'm gonna do a little bit of shout outs as always. This is, of course, call to action. All right, so basically right now I'm actually teaming up with Razer, so you guys can actually support this channel by donating to the Razer tip stream by using the QR code that is on your screen right now, or if you don't want to, it's fine, you can still follow and subscribe onto this Twitch channel, because this is the only way that you guys can actually watch the stream now, unless of course you want to watch the video on demand, which is something I'm uploading now to YouTube as well, so you can actually watch my stuff on YouTube, but those are all not live. All right, so you can't really interact with me when that happens. Okay, so anyway, just want to share with you guys what can happen now with Razer's tip stream. So basically, if you actually come on board the Razer tip stream and purchase Razer Gold through using real life money. What a way to say it, real life money. But you can actually look at all this gear here, but these are all, you have to buy them with dollars, right? But with Razer Silver, you can actually, let me just call out the page, Razer Silver catalog, right? You can actually earn enough shards, or rather silver, if you buy shards for your streamers, and you can actually use this silver to redeem all these wonderful gifts. All right, I'm talking about gifts. Well, it's a gift for yourself. You can redeem all these wonderful games, but I think the one that is really attractive is that you can actually accumulate enough Razer Silver points to redeem epic Razer gear loot. So you're looking at things like keyboards, mice, mouse pads, headsets, earphones, and it's pretty cool and nifty. I mean, you don't have to spend real life money. Instead, you can actually accumulate Razer Silver and redeem all these goodies. And you know what's the best part? You can actually no, there's no table here. You can actually support both your favorite streamers as well as get some wonderful goodies for yourself. Okay, so that's that. And of course, today, in case you missed the title page just now, we do have a special guest in the house. We're gonna have AWAMU MOJA from Luxembourg joining us all the way from his studio, and I think this is something that's really awesome. Yeah. Okay, so I just want to say a little hi to Emily, who's just popped into the chat, and say hi. If you're on the Twitch channel right now, do say hi as well, so at least I know who you are, because right now I'm using Stream as OBS and the confounded thing is not telling me who is on my chat box at the moment. Oh, actually, I can see it on the other screen. I can see Azel Gal, Michelle Gunder, thank you for joining me. My wife is watching right now, Miss Desert, hello. Another Titty viewer, thank you for joining us as well. All right. So anyway, some of you guys have been wondering, what do I do in real life? Actually, I'm a professional photographer based in Singapore, and this is my website. You can actually take a look at this at your own free time. I'll get Jarvis, my bot, to share my social media links later on. But here is where you can read my blog. I've been blogging again with just one entry so far to talk about what's happening in my life. Okay, so it's pretty much oh man, sorry for the lack of updates. Alright, so you can read that on your own. And if you forget my Twitch stream channel URL, you can always go here and click on this as well. So you can actually see there's a link here that brings you to my Twitch channel, right? So if you click on it, you can see my Twitch channel over here. Right. So if you click on it, it's like Twitchception. I can see myself now talking. But here is something very interesting. There is a Twitch panel here, so you can actually see some of the things, information about, you know, what I'm doing and all that, how I'm doing it, some of the stuff that I use, the gear, yeah, pretty much all the behind the scenes in a compact form all here. But here's a cool part. Now I am planning something for June, and the month is coming very, very near. So there is this thing called a scoreboard or a Streamlabs leaderboard. So if you chat more in the chat box, all right, and you happen to be the top chatter of the month, and if you're not a moderator, I will give you something really special. All right, I will try to announce it maybe in the first episode in the month of June, which is happening next week. There's also a suggestion box here, so if you guys have any questions about the show, or have suggestions about the show, or feedback about the show, you can just post something in here. And as you can see here, I'm now a member of the Singapore Streamers SG community, so there are a bunch of other streamers from Singapore, and it's very nice to see that as well. Okay, so do check out my Twitch channel. Then, of course, this is my Facebook page. My Facebook page is over here. That's my profile. I pressed wrong button. Oops, my bad. Okay, so this is the Facebook page, so you guys can see. This is like a landing page of sorts that keeps you updated on my latest ongoing stuff. So you can actually see what's coming up next over here. I do update this page regularly, so you can see what's going on. This is my Twitter profile. Okay, so you can follow me on Twitter if you want. You can check out some of the things I'm doing. You can even see, like, this is my setup. Basically, this is where I'm sitting right now. Okay, this is where I'm sitting right now. Alright, it's a very small, compact place. I wish I have more space, but yeah, and you can see that my table is slanting, but that's gonna change soon. But anyway, this is my YouTube channel where you can actually follow my and subscribe. Alright, and you can follow some of my ongoing adventures through my vlogs or my behind the scenes videos, so you can take a look at here as well. And I've been uploading all my past videos on Twitch here as well, so if you miss an episode, you can watch the VODs here also. Right, so now I'm just going to talk a little bit about AWAMU MOJA's website, as well as himself. Alright, but before that, you know what they say about visuals? I like to let the visuals do the talking for me. Alright, so this is a short trailer on what AWAMU MOJA actually does. Stand by.
Satellite link established.
Yep. So Emily says, shooting in a desert. What a dream. Yes, indeed. You actually said dessert at first. Dessert is ice cream and parfait. You know? This is not a desert. Is where the camels can be found. But this is amazing work. Like he's very well known for all his very epic shoots overseas in distant continents and very interesting locations. So AWAMU MOJA is actually based in Luxembourg, as you guys know, and he is a very outgoing and passionate fashion and beauty photographer who is very fluent in many languages. All right, the kind of languages he speaks are really, really amazing. Okay, I mean these are kind of languages that I myself would struggle to understand. Okay, I just come across them in movies, mostly. All right, we have native African languages, Italian, French, English, and of course Luxembourgish. Right, and because of his exposure to diverse communities while he was growing up. So I guess for myself, it is like, I grew up in Singapore. I'm only exposed to English, a bit of Malay, a bit of Chinese, and a bit of Tamil as well. But this guy, he travels so much, and he travels to very distant places and picks up very interesting, outlandish languages that I myself don't even understand. Like wow, it's beyond my comprehension lah. So if I were to learn those languages, most probably I'll take another lifetime or so. But the thing about him is that he uses all these cross-cultural experiences to actually have a greater impact on his artistic pursuit in photography. Everything that he does in terms of photography, there is always a reason. Okay, for example, he has made significant contributions to the art community and the world. All right. Now, most importantly is that he actually brings photographers together. And this is actually done through the photo labs at the Cannes Film Festival, for example. And he actually brings social and environmental causes to light. All right, no pun intended there. All right. As a photographer himself, he is a visionary and has created a name for himself through his branding and marketing style, which we will talk about later. And his works have been published in very, very, very notable magazines in the industry, including Gala and Vanity Fair. So let's take a look at some of the works that he's done with regards to the photo labs in Cannes. All right, so you may see some very, very familiar faces in there. Let's take a look.
Why did we create the labs with these wonderful photographers and fashion designers? Because I wanted to try to put together talents in photography and fashion design and try them to work together. And I think this is very, very important because the main word which would summarize what we did is exchange.
我觉得最有意思的，整个拍摄的最有意思的一个地方就在于说，一个组合，一个碰撞，因为来自不同国家的摄影师，以及来自不同国家的设计师，然后再去共同完成一个共同目标。那么这个不是为了比赛，也不是为了什么，是完全只是单纯做一个创作。所以我觉得这是非常非常有意思的，之前没有做过的尝试。
The lab was an outstanding experience. Most of the time I work in a smaller team. Most of the time when I try out light, it's just the model and me. And now the experience here, the opportunity you gave me was this to work together with a super high-end professional model, makeup artist, super fashion designer, all the equipment I had, great location. So it was an unbelievable experience for me.
A big break from what I normally do. So it takes your brain into another kind of a level, and hanging around with like Sales and Urs Recker and Tengku Azri, that was really, it was good for my soul.
Yep, good. Yep. Okay, lower.
You are talking the same thing, speaking the same language, and everybody understands. You know, Sales will suggest something, hey, you can do it this way, and Urs will say, you can do it this way. And I found that interaction was really, very good. So in terms of a lab, I think it's a very successful lab.
This is the best experience for me to have me in lab. Okay, I'm working with your team is very great. It's very awesome. Your assistant is good. The makeup artist is good. The designer Ambra is awesome because it's based on the film movie and the theater.
The lab is an amazing environment to feed off each other. I think one of the most important things in any career, whether it's photography or makeup, is to keep learning, to keep speaking to new creatives, to feed off their enthusiasm, to learn how to push yourself to the next level, and to all work as a team at creating something very special and very magical.
Altogether, they have made a great job, and I'm very proud that I could welcome them all here in Cannes.
I've seen other kinds of labs, but not performed or executed in this way. It's a really good lab.
I don't know, maybe next year I will come here again if you invite me.
如果还有机会，我明年一定还会再来。我觉得。
I would love to repeat it again. Yes, I will have the same stress, but I would love to repeat it, of course. Yeah.
So what we have tried to do in this pre-Cannes shooting is try to recreate some pictures or some images which are very well known in the Italian neorealism cinema. We have made a few shots on mythic films like La Strada of Fellini and Ieri, Oggi e Domani of De Sica. And I think we succeed because first of all, we had wonderful creators behind us, like the fashion designer Danilo Forestieri, who has made it happen. We had a beautiful model, Ines Prieto, and great artistic competences behind us. If you ask me which is the best pictures we did there, is not visually the best picture, but it's the pictures I like the most because it looks like exactly the film of De Sica, which is Ieri, Oggi e Domani, where you can see the posture of Ines Prieto being very close to the original one. very pleased about that small shooting, and that's been just to start the Festival de Cannes, which has been a great event this year.
Wow, that's just brilliant. I have no words to describe how wonderful and epic those things are. Those shoots are. I mean, like from location to location to very exotic places to working with a massive team of professionals who actually bring you up. I think this is like the photographer's ultimate dream come true, right? So right now we do have a lot of people coming in as well. Thank you so much for joining us. We have Eric Dinardi from Indonesia, I believe. We also have Gabriel, who just dropped by for a little while. He's from Singapore. Wow, a lot of people are following now. Thank you so much. Fantastic. All right, so of course, before I bring AWAMU MOJA himself onto the show, let's talk a little bit about how you can show support for his channel, because I just noticed that most of you guys are coming in right now. All right, so right now there is a way to support the channel through the Razer Tip stream. Now this is one of the ways you can actually show support for the channel and get support for yourself as well in terms of redemption, right? That's it. You can actually redeem wonderful Razer loot using the Razer Silver that you accumulate if you buy Razer Shards to show support for your streamers like myself, and using the Razer Gold platform. All right, so this is one of the ways that you can actually show support for the team and get some wonderful rewards. Okay, so now I'm gonna bring AWAMU MOJA himself onto the show. He's gonna join me right via Zoom, and right now he's all the way from Luxembourg. Hello, sir. How's it going?
Hello there. Everything okay? Thank you very much, and welcome to Luxembourg in my studio. I'm really keen and happy and honored to have you here in Luxembourg.
Thank you so much. I think this is it's an amazing thing, right? Technology has actually brought us together. The last time we met each other was actually in Shoot KL. I think that was last year in Malaysia. Physically meeting each other, you know, having a chat, going through the same motions through the show, the event, eating, and all that. And there was so much interaction, but because of COVID-19, we're all stuck in our own respective countries. But due to technology, here we are. I think it's fantastic, right?
I think first of all, I have to congratulate with you, because I think you are one of the best doing this since a while now.
Thank you so much.
Really, no, but we have to give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, we say in French. Is that you're doing a great job, and thank you very much for all the followers. I'm really astonished on a Saturday that they're there for me, and honored. Thank you very much to all of you.
Yep, fantastic. Thank you so much. Actually, I'm the one who should be honored that you actually come onto the show. Yeah, so anyway, I just want to have you guys at home know who this wonderful man is, all right? So, AWAMU, let's tell us a little bit about yourself. Okay, now first of all, I recall that you actually shared this with me before, what the name, all right, AWAMU MOJA, what it means, all right? But for the benefit of those at home, what does AWAMU MOJA actually mean?
Yeah, I'm born in Africa, in Congo, and in Congo the main language is Swahili. That's the first language I taught when I was young. And when I started again to make pictures a few years ago, and we'll come back to it, I had to choose a name, and I didn't know what name taking, because I didn't want to play on my name. I wanted to have another one, an artistic name, and I said, what the heck, what do I, and I had my phase one in my hands, and I said, okay, why not phase one in Swahili, which means AWAMU MOJA. MOJA means one. And the purpose for it is that because I wanted to have MOJA as a photographer's name, and AWAMU MOJA was the team, because I am totally, I think that in fashion and art photography and beauty photography, I think a picture is not signed by one photographer, but it's signed by a team. There are a lot of photographers that forget that. I mean, my photographers, without all my wonderful team, close and far away, wouldn't be the same quality. So and that's why AWAMU MOJA is one, and maybe if we welcome some other photographers in the team, it will be AWAMU Mbili, which is two, and then AWAMU Tatu, which is three, etc., etc., etc.
Wow.
It's very funny, but it just came out from I don't know where.
So
out of the blue.
Out of the blue. So it's basically a branding name for yourself.
Yes, exactly. When we started again to make photography, we said, okay, we don't want to sell ourselves as an artist, because I said, okay, we have to consider ourselves, and that will be easier to sell as a product.
Yep.
And we started like the Daft Punk. We sent to the news for the festival, the Cannes Film Festival, the Cannes. We sent a print into a very huge magazine saying MOJA will be at Cannes today, this year, which is the only sentence we sent. And after a while, without having made one picture in fashion, everybody was talking about MOJA. Who's MOJA? Who is he? What he does? And we start creating a kind of a buzz around MOJA without having seen any of the pictures. So we really wanted to use our photography as a project to sell instead of a photographer who is artistic, these kind of artists which are Taliban of photography. We really want to spread, we want to be a product that people can buy.
Yep. I think that's very interesting because first of all, when you actually have a name that is recognizable, it is definitely going to spread like wildfire by itself, and it makes a name for itself already. Yeah. Okay, so how did your journey in photography begin?
So when I was very young, 15, 16 years old, I was traveling Europe with all the big social issues and all the riots. And because I wanted to be with a Konica T3, a very, very old machine, but a beautiful machine. And because I wanted to be a war photographer. But the problem, after a while, in the past years, 2-3 years afterwards, my grandfather died, and he was a pioneer in filmmaking. And the family gave me at his death the equipment like the Rolleiflex 6x6, the Rolleiflex 4x4, Leica M3, and MDA, etc., etc. So I got all that equipment, and I said, okay, photography will be my business. And I went around, and when I came out of the studies, I was working as well for a big agency called AFP, Agence France Presse in France, for some assignments, not many of them. And I was always the young one, the junior one. So when we had like big riots, they didn't dare to put me somewhere interesting to make pictures. And the photographies which were published were always the senior photographers, who was, of course, and they were so old, so scared that they didn't dare to go on the fire. Yep. So we had photography, and then all these people at evenings, they were reproducing these photographies, and those ones were the ones published. So I got totally angry. And I said, okay, this is not my game. It's not fake. It's totally fake. It's not true. So I said, okay, I stopped photography, and I stopped for 27 years.
27 years?
Yes.
Wow.
27 years because I was totally fed up. I opened a company in brand activation. We do a lot of big events like UEFA Champions League final, football, like Roland Garros tennis, like Festival of Cannes, Festival of Venice, Festival of Berlin. So we do all these big events on which I hire photographers as well. So if you're interested, maybe, joking, but send us info. We hire a lot of photographers. And at a certain point, I was not very happy with what the photographers were coming in with pictures. And I said, okay, let's come again on the photography business. And I started 4 years ago to do my pictures again. And here now I still have that company making brand activation, but I am busy maybe 30-40% of my time in photography, and it's really successful because we know how to marketing.
Yep. And
so that's
curious, because after 27 years you decided to go back into photography. So why photography?
So photography, very simple, because, and I'll give you photography is the best tool for communication there is. Despite many people saying a video is coming up and video is the future. I totally agree, video, 3Ds, social media. But in matter of communication, a picture is much stronger. I'll give you an example. if you take the European Commission, the the EEC, it's 27 countries. Okay, when you get there, it's a huge building. You don't know if they're efficient or not, but anyway, when you're called there, you have to wait in a waiting place, waiting room, and you see 4 to 5 videos of programs that they have put on. And we made a survey. I have asked many people, do you remember one shot or do you remember one idea which has been spread by these videos? And nobody could say, yes, I remember this or that. Nobody. So not one, not a percentage, nobody. And then we have made a change. We have put it 3 pictures, but strong ones. Everybody could remember those pictures. So photography in his way of communicating, if it has a message behind it, which is a strong message, is the best tool to communicate ever. So that's why I definitely, as a communicator, as a marketeer, that's the best tool in the world. I think so.
I agree.
And
I agree.
Don't misunderstand. Don't think the people that say, "Oh, video will kill everything." No way. Picture will always be there.
Yep. I definitely agree with that. And in fact, I think a couple of days ago, Eugene and I were both talking about this as well. And we both agree that even if you watch a video, a very lengthy one at that, you might just remember just one particular scene, and in that one particular scene is just one particular frame that really burns a memory point in your mind. But otherwise, you can't really remember. Case in point, wedding videos. Nobody can remember what's going on in there, yeah? But photos, different.
True.
Yeah.
Totally true. And when you do a video, like the one you've shown, thank you very much for showing them. But at the end, what do you remember? Okay, you remember desert, and the guy has a lot of assignments, big assignments.
Yep.
That's the only thing. You don't remember anything else. And the photographers are interested because they maybe see how we put lighting and things like this, but all the others, they don't give a shit about those videos. And therefore, that's why these videos are okay, because we love them, because we made them. But they're normally old. Now we have to do different videos. They have to have a message as well, like a short story movie, and they have to be not more than 30 seconds, 45 seconds, because people don't look at it. And that's why video is weak in a sense. It's quite interesting, but quite weak as well.
Yep, exactly. Okay, we do have some folks coming in to say hi. It's good to see everyone. Final Fantasia, hello. Random Sinner, hi. Wesley Wong from Malaysia. I think you recall him as well. He was the one who printed some of our images at ShootKL last year. He says it's good to see you again. We have Kamian Chalwinski, who's all the way from France, joining us as well to tune in.
Yeah,
and
Kamian is good photographer.
Good photographer. And we have Kane Dera as well. And my wife is watching as well. And Kiro Shahmi from Malaysia saying hi. Hello guys, welcome to the channel. Yep. Okay, so would you recommend taking a break? Because you did mention that you took a break of 27 years. Would you ever recommend taking a break for other photographers?
Yes, definitely yes, and sometimes you have to make stop and goes. I think, and that's very important for your brain. I've got some friends. They went too into photography technique or too into marketing of photography, and they are now fed up, and they lose a little bit the pace of it. They have to get out of it, because you have to be out of it before being able to analyze what you do.
Yeah.
And I think some stops are very, very, very important. But stops doesn't mean stopping photography. It could be like a stop could be like back to the basics.
Yep.
Get your digital. Go on film. Take a very old Nikon, a Canon, which costs now 50 euros, 40 euros on internet with a lens. Don't care about the quality of the lens. You don't care. You just put a film on and try to go back to the basics. That could be a stop as well. So a stop doesn't mean being out of photography. It means do something different, and then reanalyze what you do with your digital photography and marketing. I think it's very important. Yeah, stop and goes. I believe in stop and goes.
So it's pretty much like a photography is like some kind of marathon. It's not like a sprint where you just rush to the top and then hope for the best. More like a go, take a break, come back, reanalyze, re-strategize, come back in again and see what works again, and then maybe evolve along with whatever's planned out for the future. I think it's very important, because even for myself also, I resonate with what you said. I did take a breather about 4 years myself before I get back into photography and rediscovering what I could have done better and implementing it. I think that's the most important. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and I think if you don't do stop and goes regularly, like once or twice a year, you end up like having to make a break of 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, which is too long. So
Yeah.
I think small breaks is much more important than one very, very large break.
Yep. Agreed. Okay, so people know you as someone who is fluent in many languages, and I've seen it yourself. You share with me different words from different languages, yeah, and then it's so effortless to you, because I think it's because of the result of you growing up with different communities, very diverse communities. So how does this impact your photography business and photography vision?
Okay, so first of all, I speak badly a lot of languages, maybe 8, but badly, I mean, grammatically, I'm not very, very good at any of them, not even English or French, which is my mother tongue. But I went to the European school in Italian sections. That means, and that school is not very, very strong in basic culture, but is very strong in opening your mind to the world.
Yeah.
Because we had like history and geography in English, mathematics in French, etc., etc. So it opens your mind, because we were at that time European Commission at 12 countries, and at that time it opened your mind. And that's one thing, is that when we analyze a subject to do some work, we have really, really open mind, and all my team, and commercially, I'm not limited to one country. I can speak to many countries, different countries, so I can get clients from a bit everywhere. So it's very, and I think more and more at my age, when I was young, it was strange somebody who could speak 3, 4, 5 languages, but now every single people in Europe speaks 4 or 5 languages. And you can understand why. Luxembourg is so small, but if you travel from France to Luxembourg and you don't brake with your car soon enough, you're in Germany. So that's why we have to speak all these languages. That's one. And because of this, what's the best result of it is that if you look, all my team is from different countries. My art director, Cassandra Lebrun, is from Belgium. My chief of operations, Ainhoa Quereta Zumendi, she is from Spain. Carolina Mallorca is from Venezuela. One of the researcher, Gergi, from Italy. So, and I have from the makeup artist is from Ireland and from Ukraine. So all these people, they have their own culture, and they come into the job, preparing the job with their own culture, and makes it different. So, for instance, I got a very, very nice message from Sales Chong, the film that we did in the pictures that we did in China.
Yep.
He said they were resembling a little bit China way of photography, but because all that team is open to the world, and so that's the main positive things we got from this internationality idea. Yes.
Yeah. And speaking of internationality and speaking of China, you actually did some work in China as well. So I'm going to play a trailer of one of your works in China and share with the rest of the world right now. But before that, I think Eric Dinardi from Indonesia says hi. And I also think you recognize him as well. Eric Dinardi is one of our former alumni for this show as well. He was on this show just a couple of weeks ago. Yep. And we did hang out in KL. So I think speaking of diversity also, because of events like this, Shoot Scene, Shoot KL, Shoot Bangkok even, anything that's organized to bring people together, I think it's one of those things that really brings people and ideas together, and I'm very blessed to actually meet all of you. I think this is just wonderful. But anyway, let's take a look at your work in China.
Okay, we can go. Excellent.
the best.
Wow, that was just something surreal. All right, I mean, what do you think, guys? Those of you who are watching right now, what do you think? It's just epic, isn't it, to see so many people come together? 84 hours of shooting, 133 boxes of props. Was that it, Moya?
Yeah, but we you know, when we go to a shooting like this, we try to connect with the culture of the country, and we have seen that China, which is an amazing country.
Yep.
I'm not talking politics. I'm talking about the China state government, not the government, but the country. The country is an amazing and has so much culture.
Yep.
That we try to stick to these, and they had some little stories. Which were very interesting. So we recreate all these stories. That's why all these props came along.
Yeah.
So a lot of work pre-preparation.
I can only imagine, like, just looking at the different locations. 9 different locations altogether?
9 different locations to cover all we wanted to cover. So it's 9 different places we went to China. Yeah.
And how tough was it getting equipment out into all these faraway locations? For example, China, you got 9 different locations through flight, land, sea.
Okay.
I mean, all the logistics planning. How do you do that?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So on that particular case, one of the problem we had, of course, is language.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to have with us translators as well, or we have now since then we have a company in Hong Kong making doing pictures as well, and which is very much related to the country. So that side of the communication was well done, and I think easy to proceed. And the country persons, and especially in the countryside, the Chinese are really wonderful persons, but they talk Chinese and Chinese. This is it. So that's quite different. The problem with the equipment, it's very difficult because in countries like China, but other countries as well, the border authorities is like a country within a country.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to do, even if you're pushed by a minister or by the culture, or and to push them to accept you to get in with some equipment, it's very difficult. So in this case, we have been working with the Broncolor distributor for China, which is Shiro, from Hong Kong, and they have lent us 80% of the equipment. And that's maybe one things that young photographers could do if they're starting to be a little bit well known. What they do, they go to the importer of the country they want to go to, and say to the importer, the brown color importer, would you lend me the equipment or would you rent me the equipment? And in this case, what I said to Shiro, I will do for you 3 workshops. And in exchange, you're going to give me your equipment. So 1/3 was coming from Europe with all the authorities problem and borders problems, and 2/3 were coming from China, which made it very easy for us.
Of course. And I think this kind of logistics planning will definitely take a long time. So roughly for the China one, how long did it take you guys to actually completely set up everything, including the pre-production stage where you actually have to call in all the people and things like that? How long was the planning?
Yes, I think from the moment we have decided to do it, from the moment some our clients, they said, okay, we agree to do it, and then because that has been paid by many clients, it took us 8 months, around 8 months of hard work. Yeah, sure. To do something like this, you need to really prepare.
It's not like one of those like, oh, next week I decide to do something, let's go to China. It's not gonna happen, right? You have to really sit down and plan.
No, that's something we really do a lot. And if you don't mind, I will explain you a little bit how we do. We go very deep into the details of the idea. It's not only preparing to prepare logistically. It's always preparing us mentally.
Yeah.
When you do very difficult shots like this, you need to know the country. You need to know loads of things.
Yep.
And that's why I think it is crucial for us to. I'm thinking two things. Sorry. If you don't mind, I will share with you a screen.
Yep.
It's okay for you?
No problem.
And we'll explain you what we are on at the moment, and you understand how we present stuff. So share a screen.
Yep.
I will show my keynote presentation. Voila. So better share. Okay. So if you look here, it is the shooting we are working on at the moment, and it's the Festival de Cannes. Film Festival of Cannes, which is very well known. It's one of the biggest well-known cinema festival in the world.
Yep.
And we are there busy with them since 11 to 12 years now. And they have asked us to work on 6 different films. So because of the Weinstein affair, so the guy who has been trailed, had a trial lately because he was before you could enter one of his films, you had to sleep with him, make love with him, and he was really attacked. And from there, 2 years ago, there has been a big discussion about the women, and here we want to show through the films that these characters made the women look like they could be stealers, they could be angels, they could be gangsters. Women are not different than men. That's the first thing, and they don't deserve extra protection or things like this. They're ready to protect themselves, and therefore we have chosen 6 films in the mood for love, because there were 6 different characters. Black Swan, Danish Girl, The Birds of Hitchcock, $1 Million Baby, and Kill Bill. So those are the films we were. So how do we proceed in preparing all this? I'll take, for instance, In the Mood for the Love. So we try to make a summary of what is the film, and everybody in my team has to go and see the film.
Yep.
This film has been judged by the BBC as one of the 7 best film in the world made in South Korea. So beautiful film. and the director Wong Kar-wai is really somebody amazing. Anyway,
Yeah.
and it's really interesting for us because if you look the mood, it's always it's always like clear and dark, which is really interesting to do in photography.
Yep.
And so we try to explain a little bit, and we try to get out some of the main theme in it. So, for instance, it has been done. It has been done in 2010, but like Hong Kong was in 1960s. So, could be interesting because it has a very strong Hong Kong gaze. And then another thing is that you see that the director has developed the film with frame into frames, like through a window, like through a door, like through a corridor. And the first 12 minutes of the film, it's only frame into frame. So if you want to do something, you better, and all the film is 70% is frame into frame. So because he wanted to show the uncomfort of these two people within the film. And so if you don't do a picture frame into frame, you lost it, okay? So, and then the film starts with saturated greens, which in Chinese means infidelity, jealousy, perversion, to overwhelming red, which is passion, sex, okay, and then etc., etc. So we are trying to see the main key words and the key points of the film, okay, and we have the feeling of emptiness, etc. So then, a third stage, we try to see which words would be the good words for that film. Here we have flowers, okay, because the dresses are in connection with the walls, etc., etc. So and we try to see mood boards like here the pictures of Sail Strong. It's not that we are going to copy, but it's just to get to the team mood boards.
Yep.
We had another which was solitude, because they are very alone in that film. So we went to fetch images on solitude. These three pictures on the right are from the guy who made the music of the film, and he has made these. Then we came out with a lot of Edward Hopper, as a painter, has made a lot of pictures that during this COVID people were using on their Facebook. So it is a way to see solitude. Then you go for nowerness. Okay, so we have these frames, etc., etc. Surviving infidelity, which are the poses which shows infidelity. And then how was Hong Kong looking in the 60s, 70s? Hong Kong was a lot of windows, a lot of shadows, and that's why the film has been done like this. So these ones are mood boards. Then we go, after that, we say, okay, what do we want to do? And we have ideas of shooting. We try to draw and explain text. Here it's a work in progress, okay? And we look with fashion designers. How could we call fashion designers, says, how would you translate this? And for this, we have two fashion designers. One is Wei Peng, very good Chinese fashion designer. And he came up with these two dresses, okay, which normally fits because it's flowers, and from green to red, okay, those are the interpretation of Wei Peng. And in this dress red, it's very nice because I've asked him to make dresses where you put a flash on, it bounces on it. So this is all plastic. So I will have shades on all the. Then we go to another fashion designer, because we can go very artistic like this, but we normally should be fashion as well.
Yep.
And so we go to another fashion designer, Danilo Forestieri, who has made something a little bit more classic, because we have to get the interest of Vogue, of Vanity Fair, of all these big brands, because we have to talk fashion.
Yep.
Okay, and then we go for the models. Okay, and the models we have here: Tree Solution, one from Paris, Marie Wu. We have Sun from Luxembourg, and we have Mo from Paris. And then after that, we have the location here. All this film, Mood for Love, will be shot into a little village in Italy, because we have a narrow street, and partially in my studio in Luxembourg. So that's how we, and only then we start preparing the shoot.
Wow.
We do only then. So before this takes 2-3 months, not only because we need 3 months of work, but because we need to get into the theme slowly by slowly, and not only getting in 3 days it's done. No, maybe you work 4 or 5 days, but in 3 months time.
Yeah.
And then after that we go for a scouting, a planning minutes-to-minute scenario. We do a what-if scenario. What is this goes wrong? What goes wrong, etc.
Yep.
And after that, we rechange everything after the scouting because we have other ideas and other stuff. So, but that's what I've shown you here. Is just the beginning, just before we go on a scouting and see the place.
Wow. That's a lot of work. Okay, we do have some questions here. I think from Kamian Chalwinski from France, I believe. How do you find your inspirations for your work, and how do you create afterwards the pictures? I think this was addressed just now in the slides that you shared. That you actually look at films, you look at mood boards to get an idea, inspiration for ideas. Then what advices would you have for people to build series of pictures, or where to dig for inspiration?
Okay, so first of all, because there are two things I want to say. I told you I will speak too much, so you have to.
No worries.
First of all, I think I really urge everybody to be sponges like me. What does that mean? You don't have to copy. You don't have to be inspired by anybody, but you have to see what the people does, because that's gonna give you ideas. And I am a sponge. I read everything of everything. I read the old. I see the old. I have books about old photographers like Man Ray, Henri Cartier-Bresson, Jacques-Henri Lartigue, etc. But I have books of new ones in fashion, like Peter Lindbergh, Mario Testino, Mario Sorrenti, all these big, Helmut Newton, Meralas, and Marcus Pigotto. I follow them all, and I am a sponge. And also retouchers, like the father of retouching is really amazing, Brian Dowling. And Brian Dowling was making retouching in a film format, not even with digital, before the digital. And he has been working with Nick Knight, very, very well named, Anton Corbijn, Greg McCullen. So all these people, and even been people from editorial, like for instance, the editor, chief editor of Vogue Italy, who was Carla Sozzani, died unfortunately in 2016, but she made the story of Vogue. And even there are so many good ideas that we have. So we have to be sponges, and that gives me, when I go to a country or when I go somewhere, it all that background that I have in the back of my head gives me the idea I want to do it on site. So it's not a copy; it's a mixture of what I've learned so far. So, and how do we choose the subjects? You have to know that we have 3 DNAs, 3 points of our DNAs. The first point is that we would like to work in the chiaroscuro way of photography, meaning like the ancient painters. Everything was a bit dark, and the main subject was very clear, but nothing was out of focus. The depth of field was very, very, very high. That's one. Secondly, we like to be stuck to social problems, and we go to locations that the people don't go. So, and therefore, for me, it's quite easy. We are now preparing a show for UNICEF for the kids.
Yep.
We will cover the kids in the mine, working in the mines in Congo, the soldier kids, the albinos, which are killed and eaten by the people there. And all these are social projects, and we take advantage of art and fashion to highlight these subjects. Because nowadays, if you look, you hear at the news or anywhere, COVID and that idiot of Trump saying stupid things.
Yes, yes, he does.
All these social problems are not anymore talked about, and that's really a shame.
Yep.
So that's how we choose.
And I think it's something very, very admirable, because sometimes you give voice to those who are voiceless, and you do it through visual means. And before this, we actually did establish that visual means, like photos, they actually last a very lasting impression. They stay imprinted in your mind. And I think to actually have a message rather than just words, rather than just spoken, we actually have visual elements to it. I think this is where your photos can truly lift up and bring up some very very forgotten issues. You know what I mean? Yeah. So okay, you have yes. Then you have actually created a lot of works that focus on environmental issues, and in this case, I'm going to show a trailer later, talking about petrol, how it actually has got a very negative impact on the environment, and I really think that it's really something that goes beyond words of how I can describe it. I think the biggest word I can find right now is really epic. You know, to actually combine elements of art and fashion photography to create a talking point. Okay, so now, guys, we're gonna take a look at one of the things that he has done before, and this is actually a project that was shot in Italy. Wow, that's something really, really awesome. And to be honest, before I looked at the trailer, I saw some of the shots. I really thought that those were the black ink stuff was some kind of like oil you scooped up from the sea itself. And I didn't realize that at the bottom it actually says a biodegradable squid ink, and that shows how inattentive I was. I was so enamored by the photo that I forgot to look at the subtle things at the bottom where it actually explains what the liquid was. So that was really something. And how effective were all these images in getting the word across about the damage that humans do to the environment?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. We had 6 different articles about that shooting, and we had the radio television, Italian radio television, made a big program out of it, and came back, and Belgium as well, and came back with the problem, which was, I don't know if you remember, but the Erika boat sunk 20 years ago and made a catastrophe in the environment. Yep. And Deepwater Horizon 10 years ago in the Gulf of Mexico came with a very, very big thing. So And so they came up with a very, very nice, especially the Italian television. They came with a very nice stuff. So they just come back into the scene. They come back talking about this. And Vogue after the COVID, Vogue will publish the pictures as well and come back as well on the stuff. So it's just to. During the COVID, we had a very pleasant situation where the Earth got a little bit life again. So we were less polluted and things like this. So it will add on the consciences of everybody to say, hey, pay attention. These beautiful locations are not forever. And if we go on like this, we kill them. So what's the benefit? Yes, first of all, is the fashion designer who has to show his creations, but it's good for the fashion designer to show his creation through a project which is a nice project of environment. So but it's difficult to see the impact because we human are stubborn.
Yeah,
we don't learn.
That's true. And we have seen your behind the scenes trailers just now, quite a few of them, where they show your team going around with all your equipment and things like that. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people at home right now are quite curious to know what is actually inside your bag. If you travel light, what's inside your bag and what's on your computer in terms of software and hardware.
Okay, so for a shoot like this, of course, I have a lot of bags and not one bag, but I'm joking. But basically, I used phase one equipment because I think they're really the best. I've tested the other ones as well, like Hasselblad. I only used medium format and not 135 or smaller format because I think I have a more latitude. It's too heavy, it's very heavy. The autofocus doesn't work very well. Anyhow, everybody says it's not functioning very, very, it's efficient, but on low light it's very, very weak. But I still need things that the Schneider lenses of phase one are the best ones. So I have an IQ3 100 megapixel and an IQ4 150 megapixel.
Wow, the latest
These are
one.
my two machines. I really much on some special lighting. I love films as well.
Yep.
And I use a Mamiya RZ67 Pro 2, which is a 6x7 film format. And there, this is for the equipment. And really the best. Then I never ever shoot non-tethered. I am always tethered, meaning connected to the computer. And I have an acquisition guy who is behind the computer and says, okay, am I sharp? Am I, there is a dog in the stuff or a shoe or a socks. Don't know, pay attention to what's on the picture. And therefore I have a computer, Apple, of course, nothing else. and what we use Capture One as a software. This is it. After that, of course, I never ever in my life taken a picture without a flash. Even a picture where the light is okay. It could be maybe sometimes, but really rarely, a bouncing board. But basically, at least I have one flash on my shooting. So, and Broncolor is the pearl of my equipment because they have everything I need and very reliable and technically. So basically, we have 3 or 4 boxes of Broncolor, including the Move. With mobile heads, including a Scoro with a power generator, because I have to beat the sun, and beating the sun brings you a lot of ask you a lot of power.
Yep.
So, but we have that's what I'm in my bag.
Even let's say, for example, recently a lot of people have been asking this question on the channel for photographers, or even the previous photographers. They asked the same question. Surprisingly, no one is asking that today. But do you ever shoot nature in natural light at all? I mean, just now you mentioned that you always bring flash out. Anything at all with natural light?
I use natural light as a fill or as a backlight, or as an ambient light, and therefore I use it as a light, but not the main light. Never the key light. Never ever the key light.
Yeah.
So and always never ever alone. I don't like that. I really don't like that. It's not my game, maybe because I'm not capable of it. I like to put flashes, and sometimes too many.
Okay, so could you share some of the shots that you've made, or would you like me to? Because I actually do have your website in the background. I'm happy to play it in the back.
I'll now. What about some shots? I can go to. I will share my screen.
Sure.
I'll share my screen if you don't mind.
Fantastic.
2 seconds. The screen.
Yeah, so just gonna be saying some shout out to all those viewers at home right now. Eng CMN, thank you for joining us. It's great that you actually find time, because I understand that I think you started work again. And Wesley Wong just went, wow, exactly. To be honest, when I look at his work, I just go, wow, you know, it's just amazing.
Thank you, really appreciate it, and thanks again for everybody for following. I'm really honored.
Yeah.
Anyway, that to answer your questions, and as I told you before, we are very much looking into the old painters.
Yeah.
Chiaroscuro. That's why I need flashes, even outside. And for us, it's important to have flashes. Caravaggio was one of the best Italian painters in the early Moroccan style, and it was the first time the guy could paint a painting with the light coming not from above, but coming from it comes from. For instance, the Catholics, they didn't like painters if they would do so, because normally the light has to come from God, so from above.
Yeah.
And Caravaggio was the first one to really paint, and that's what we really like to do. And how I will explain you how on the setups, but here are some pictures we do. You know, the surrounding are quite dark, and the main subject is clear. So, and it's not that the surrounding, I always shoot at least at 16, never go under 16, f16, to get a very, very big depth of field. I don't like these lenses problems, like totally unfocused on the background. I don't like that. I prefer trying to copy the painters and having them black. So here you have, and even outside, here it's in the middle of the day. The sun has been used as a fill, but there are two flashes on that pictures. Okay, so it was 2 o'clock, burning sun, and you see the seaside looks black. It's not Photoshop at all. It's just that the surrounding has been put it down 3 stops, and the rest has been lighted. Here, the rocks and her has been lighted by Broncolor's equipment. Here in the studio as well. If you look everything which is not interesting, like water, you don't see even that it's really water. It should be petrol.
Yeah.
But the person who is well lighted is only the subject, never the surrounding. Okay. Here as well, it's an pontoon, and we have on wooden pontoon with fish, and we have put it 2 P70 Broncolor to simulate on the pontoon. At the seaside, you have sometimes every 2-3 meters a light.
Yeah.
So
here,
lights. two spotlight. Here as well, it's in the middle of the day. The sun was burning, but we used it, if you see, as a key light.
Yep.
It came in. This is the sun. The main light is a big parka, 2 parkas. But the light here, you see, the key light is the sun. And when it's strong like this in the cinema business, we call it a kick light.
Kick light, yeah.
And that's what I love as well. It's kicking, and some people, they say, too much backlight. No, it's a way of even in the early stages of painting, Moroccan painting, they were outlining all the bodies like this, and that it's called a kick light. But that's the sun. The sun here is just a backlight.
Yep.
Okay. Here as well, the sun, it's quite strong. Everything down to -3 stops, and inside a flash to etc. So that's the kind of here it was in the middle of the day as well in Senegal. Was full bright, 42 degrees. I should have shot that at f16 250, and I shot it at 1000 at 16.
Right.
So to get down, but the flash on her was like in burning hell, really a very strong one.
Yes.
And so I dragged the attention to that girl, etc., etc. All my shots are I tend to do so like this. I think it's a way. And now, how do I do this? I'm sorry, but I'm talking on a presentation that I made.
No worries. I think it's fantastic. And to the viewers at home, if you've got any questions, just feel free to type them out in the chat box. And right now we do have some folks who are sharing their questions as well. Lol Thoughts ask, what are some good beginner flashes that you would recommend?
Ceros, brown color. Don't ask me.
Ceros, I think just one sec. Let me grab mine.
Yeah, Ceros L or Ceros L because there is a battery.
Yep.
And you can use the 400 to start with. This is an 800, I guess.
400. This is my 400, smallest one, and most
400.
affordable.
Yeah, it's amazingly portable. It has a lot of flashes.
Yep.
And what I would do is maybe take a kit, which is two of them 400 if you have a little money. But if you don't have a lot of money, I think the 400 can take any pictures you want into account, and that's a really beautiful machine. And the beautiful machine between that machine and all the shapers, and that all the shapers are going in there, so you can really do whatever you want. So if you take a small, to start with, this Ceros L400 with a small box, you can do 80% or 70% of the pictures you will be able to do. And then you can grow up, because the important thing choosing a brand is not that it is good or not good, or you feel it or no. The most important is that the brand can evaluate with you. I mean, if you need something, you can buy more, and is not stuck to a number of. And I think Broncolor has the biggest list of shapers I ever seen.
That's
I
true.
was pro photo before. I went to Broncolor, and that's totally another game. So Ceros L400, it's perfect.
Yep. And speaking of which, for me, because I spent too much time looking at other flashes when I first started, I honestly felt that over time, the value of those equipment started to depreciate to the point where I'm not making money at all. So it's always important to buy something that can last a long time. Like I basically have this thing called the 3 months gear purchase plan. So if I don't make money back within 3 months, that means I just wasted my money, you know. But ultimately, it's all about how long the product can last. After sales support, I think for Broncolor, it's fantastic. I mean, Eugene is watching right now. He just came on. I think he just said, "Hello, Patrick. Have a good day. Best sunlight flash starts with B."
Eugene, my friend Eugene, I miss you.
Yeah, and Eugene does a fantastic job of after sales support, and I'm very happy. My old flash, you know, like some weird brand, I will not mention it here, died, and that's it. I have to buy another one. It doesn't make sense, you know. So to get something that lasts, and I know some folks will say things like, "Oh, I don't have the money yet." Then, well, rent first. It's an option. You can save money by renting. Yeah. We also have
I'm just for a little word about Eugene. Eugene, I went to shoot KL 3 years ago, I think, and I was totally pro photo. And Eugene is the one who brought me into the Broncolor world. So he is the one that decided for me at the end. Go to Broncolor is much. So I own a lot to Eugene. Eugene is a wonderful person, and his wife is even more wonderful than him. And they do an amazing job in the business, and they are one of the best Broncolor reseller in the world, I think.
Yep, I agree, and I think that's why we have something in common. Eugene also turned me to the light side by going over to Broncolor as well. Yeah, so Eugene says he misses you as well. Okay, Yon ZZZ asks, do you do photography for leisure, or is it just for work, or both?
No, it's for work. Because to me, a photographer is somebody who does the pictures in once, but he sells them as well. I think the success of a photography is also selling the picture.
Yep.
It's also a commercial success. And I urge all the young people not to sell themselves too low, to think big, but to really keep in mind that a photographer, a real photographer, a commercial photographer, or somebody who get money off, is a photographer who sells his pictures.
Yep.
And sells it well. Unfortunately, and my big game, because I'm a marketeer, it's the selling process. We do a very huge turnover in photography as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not only it's not our core business, but it's not a passion. It's a passion, but it's not an hobby. So we do it. It's too easy with the equipment nowadays. All the people they just make pictures and pictures and pictures. They make 2,000 pictures. In 2,000 pictures, even my granddaughter, 2 years old, she will do the right picture. So consistency is the proper of a professional photographer. And to be consistent, you have to sell, because your client is going to kick your ass if the picture is not good. So he's going to make thinking of the good pictures to do. Because you have somebody who says, I'm not happy, or you have something, I am happy. And if he says, I am happy, he pay the bills.
Exactly.
So it's part of the success. I definitely very strong believer in this one.
Yep. Okay, so Lothos asks, how do you sell? As in photos or the workmanship that you have done. I guess this is what it leads to.
How do I sell? I try to be as much creative I can into the selling process.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, I share the screen again, if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead.
Where keynote, voila. That's it. Okay, so first of all, I'm trying to be as much as creative on who I'm going to sell the picture to. Okay, it could be an assignment from a client. This is the easiest. You go for an assignment and the client says, I want to do this, and so you do your way. Pay attention. Don't do what the client wants you to do. Do what you think the best is for the client, and do your picture. Stick to your DNA, stick to your picture, because if the client called you, it's just because he saw a bit of your work, and so he wants to retrieve that work on his picture. We international magazines on fashion topics, like we have a request from Vogue, Vanity Fair, Gala, Si, Voilà, Hola, Gala, all these newspapers. So that's easy as well. They want to promote a fashion designer, and you just work with the fashion designer to do the best picture around the theme all the time. Pay attention. You have to have a theme, and what we call an editorial line. When you have an editorial line, you sell much better.
Yep.
Then we can sell part, because to fashion designers. So fashion designers, they need to show their new collection. Well, go to them and say, I'm a good photographer. I love your line. I could do good pictures for you, and that's one way. Or what we do as well is Oman. We have to go to Oman in Arabic Peninsula because the country has decided to make nice pictures about their country to promote tourism, but expensive tourism. And so they need nice pictures and not touristic pictures with no flash and things like this. So that could be. And then after that, because all these clients could be mixed. You can have an assignment from a client, but the fashion designer is interested to be there, and so he pays as well. And that's a creativity, is just to find a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there, because my shooting cost around $12,000 to $15,000 costs. So I have to find money. Then all the technical operators, very important. For instance, we go somewhere, a flight, an airlines, the transportation company within big companies renting cars, they can pay or at least give you some. And then we have the exhibition, and that's very, very important for young photographers. Do that. It's the best way to sell your pictures. I'll tell you why. You go to exhibition places, like somebody has a shop and has a place in the shop, and you tell them, okay, if you have a timing which is empty, could I put my photography there? And then they will say no, but sometimes they'll say yes. And you have to propose them what's normally used in the exhibition places. you do only 7 copies, not more. So you make a contract saying that you make 7 copies of your pictures. You cannot later duplicate them. You can only use them in digital media, and you place them at from 3 to 6. It depends. I sell 4.5 to 6,000 USD or euro, but you can put 2. And the game is why the exhibition will say yes most of the time, because you tell them that half of that earning is for them and half is for you. So you take only half of what they sell. The most important thing is, of course, if you propose that when you do the picture, you have to think all the time, having in mind all the time, saying, do somebody would put that picture in his living room? Does that picture as an editorial line, so as a story to tell? Okay, and we have, and also. For instance, in some locations, what I do, I put the picture, but I put on a model, a plastic model, I put the dress as well, and I sell the dress as well. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of people liking to buy the dress and the picture together with the dress, because they have like a unit. We just sold 6.9 thousand euros one dress of a picture, because he put the pictures and the dress. The dress was very, very nice. It was a sculpture of Wu Qingpeng, the artist. And so you have to be very, very, very creative in that stuff. You have to make a small catalog, but don't dare. I mean, go. Don't be shy. Go to these places where they have space on their walls and say, okay, I'll make my exhibit. And if I sell Alvis for you, you will see, you will sell pictures. If the pictures are good, and if the pictures has been thought as something that people would put in their living room. I do that very often, and it works very well. Awesome. Okay, so that's how I said. That's it.
Okay, so you've done fashion, you've done beautiful, you've done art as well. Is there any other genre of photography that you'd be keen to try?
Years ago, when I stopped photography, I said to my wife, when I will go on pension, I will do photography again. And I started photography much before my pension because I loved it. Now I'm saying that if I go on pension, I will go back on street photography or social photography. Because, of course, now I have a nice team. I'm still rather young, which is not the case. But anyway, I think I'm rather young. And I still can carry these big events, shooting events.
Yep.
In the future 10 years, I will not be able to do that anymore. So I will not be able to move with so much equipment. So I will take my Leica M10 or my Nikon film and go around and do social things. Yes.
Just out of curiosity, how young are you?
61 years old. So if I succeeded in these 4 years, all you young people, listen to me and thank you very much for being there. You have to succeed much better than I am, because I am old, and so you're young. And these world and the old president of each nation, which are old and close to be dead, they should understand that and put young people on the front. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm pushing my team to do so.
Yep.
But voilà.
Well, at least you're still young at heart.
My heart, yes.
Exactly. Okay, so let's look at going back to your setups again, like the process and all that, and also of course about the branding and marketing. And I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of planning involved. But let's talk about your setups, the process, how you actually go about fixing it up and setting it up and all that. Equipment requirements, concerns, and things like that. Like when you're on the set, just now you did share that you have contingency plans and things like that. So what kind of plans are those like?
So, yeah, if you,
Sure.
If you remember what I said, I always start from a 3-point lighting all the time.
Yep.
Because this is my base, and then I move around, and I'm never finishing with the 3 base. I am more or less, it depends, but I'm starting from that one. because it gives me. I am coming from the cinema as well, so and the cinema we always use this. And in this picture of the Del Bonello, who is the director, Amélie is the film. You see, he uses the key light quite strong. The fill light is very easy, and then just to get off the key light. So I always start like this. My key light, I put it on the right side. I could put it on the left side, but usually I start with the red side, and I can move 60 degrees. So more I put it in front of my camera, less 3D I will have on the face, of course. And more I push it from my camera, more 3D I will get on the face. Same with the fill light, and for the rim light or backlight, I put it the other side, the other side of the key light. So this is normally the base I'm gonna work with, because I'm old, because I'm traditional, because I'm coming from the cinema industry. And then I move a lot. And how do I use this? Easy. I use this I first measure the ambient light. Okay, the ambient light given by the sun, and I put I put it at 3 stops lower than it is. It gives you very strong colors, but quite darkness and like a dramatic movement. Then I start with the backlight. Second is backlight, and normally I have 2 stops lower, but it could be more if I want to have a kick backlight. But normally I start from the two -2 stop backlight, and I put a fill light. Only then, when I see that my picture fills all the blacks enough to have black dots, I put my key light. And the key light I measure here. It's 125, for instance, 16, and my model, because I'm doing fashion, will be very well at 0 stops, so exactly well lit. And that's how I start with. And then I move. I can move around and see, and maybe I shouldn't say that because it's against me, but one of my best pictures is because one of the flash didn't fire. And so instead of having 3 sources, I had 1 source or 2 sources. I can't remember, but that was one of my good pictures. So coming from these platform, I change. And what's the future? I wanna play on future, and I'm gonna try to move into, not to move, but to do something else as well. Is for instance, the side light. If you see here, Casino Royale by Martin Campbell, he uses a lot this side light, and it gives you a very, very dramatic mood, chiaroscuro. And that's only one light, big light, very, very close, because you can see here on the talent, you can see quite light. But that's one thing I want to evolve a little bit. So not to go only for this, but it's one of the stuff I would like to do. And then another light I would like to make a little bit more. It's here. It's what they call it, the motivated light. And Roger Deakins is a director who did here the assassination of Jesse James.
Yep.
And what it is, it's light that are already on location, and to emphasize them. So you have to work with lower flashes as well, lower speed filming, but just to emphasize the impact of the natural light on site, which is called motivated light and comes from the cinema business. So mainly 3-point lights, standard, moving them around, but now I am up to study these 2 lighting, which is the side light and the motivated light.
Just out of curiosity, because in the previous slides where you showed the setup of the light, the 3-point light setup, there's this north, south, east, west direction points. I'm very curious, why those?
Okay, so this is a good question as well. Is that I think when you are when you prepare yourself and you are organized, you have to be organized on site as well.
Yep.
I've seen so many shooting, even great photographers. I will not put names. Great photographers. That the communication through his team was totally idiot. Go a little bit further. Go right. No, your right. My right. No, go. Big mess. And so we have developed a system which is north, south, east. the model is in the center of this clock, and I am the photographer at 6 o'clock.
Yep.
I pilot a lot helicopters, and that's why that comes from aviation. And when the lighting assistant is there, moving the key light, for instance, if I have to moving to 12 o'clock, so behind the person, more behind the person, I say go to 12 o'clock. He knows. If I tell him go 9 o'clock, he knows where to go. He's more sighted. If I tell him go south, he knows he goes south, not to 9 o'clock, but to south. If I tell him go east, he goes east. And to turn, very often, oh, turn it that way, or turn it that way. No, it's clockwise, you screw, or anti-clockwise, you unscrew. So with these this kind of watch on site, everybody knows where the model is and everybody knows where the photographer is. So it's easy to know where the 12, the 9, the 3, the 2, the 1 is it. So if I go to 1, I know exactly what is, and when he goes to 1, I say stop. And that's it. So when you do a film or people are watching your shooting experience, they directly know that you're a professional because you don't shout different orders, like turn right, no, not your right, or go down, no, not the flash down, not the.
No confusion. No confusion, basically.
Exactly.
Yep. So you shared with us that you have some plans to try to have that hard light chiaroscuro style of lighting, but what is your most favorite lighting setup?
So to me, the best lighting I think there is, which I love very much, and which is quite complicated to do, is the hard light from above a person. I use normally an octabox, which is a soft light normally, but I use it in a way quite far. So it is stronger, harder light than when it's very close. And I like these shower lighting come up the face because it makes the face more dramatic. And so my favorite light is that one.
Right.
But I am not I don't have the knowledge of, for instance, a great photographer that you had last week, Urs Rescher, who is much more confident than me. That's why sometimes I ask him some things. But I love that. From the top, octabox, a small one or big, the 75 or the 150, quite far to get a very trash lighting. That's what I love, and that's why I want to now to test the other lighting that I didn't test yet very often outside. So. Which is the side light, because the side light could give the same dramatic effect.
Very dramatic effect. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think it looks really fantastic in black and white. It's something that I've been trying to do as well, because it really shows all the details in the face. It really tells a story, especially when you work with someone who has seen a lot of things in his lifetime. Yeah. Okay. So how about post-processing of images? What kind of software do you work on? Just now you mentioned Capture One. Like what kind of changes do you actually do in Capture One? Because right now we do have people saying that, I try to shoot straight out camera and then just publish it as it is, or what do you look out for in terms of editing?
Okay, so to the Taliban, which are saying that they don't want to retouch and they go publish like this the picture because they're more honest, forget it. In fashion, forget it. I mean, this is not no go. I mean, in fashion, you have to retouch. Even the nicest, beautiful model in his face has impurities, and some of them even very nice, very well demanded. They're like computer keyboards. So many. So you have to retouch. Basically, what I do, I don't do my retouching myself. I have a specialist, and he's a photographer as well. He's very good, and he does the retouching by himself. But what I do with Capture One, I just normally we are very close to have the final shot from the shooting. We are very, very careful on this. We don't use a lot of Photoshop. It's just the skin and things like this. What I do normally is I control the white and the blacks in Capture One.
Yep.
And then I pass it to the retoucher, and the retoucher checking the Capture One file and goes on internet where he uses the obvious Dutch and burn for the skin and things like this. So, but the final result is really much the same. But no way that for a magazine like Vanity Fair or Vogue, you give a picture which is not retouched. No way, it doesn't exist. So all these people saying, "Oh, I am honest, I do it." Yeah, okay, be honest, but you will not sell your picture.
Yep.
Yeah, and now there is a big problem in France. For instance, they say when you retouch a picture, you have to put it on the back of on the bottom of the picture. This picture has been retouched. This is not real. And we are, and since 2020, we are obliged to do so. We don't do, and we are fighting for this. Why? Because it would be like you watch Star Wars and you have to put on the back, no worries, this is fake, it doesn't fly. I mean,
doesn't make sense.
Stupid.
Yeah, it sounds very silly. Any reason why they're doing that? Is it because they don't want the young ladies to feel obliged to beautify themselves excessively to make up for social standards or something like that, or what?
Yes, it comes from you know, normally the cleaning, it's very strange, but the cleaning products.
Yeah.
And you were cleaning your kitchen, and where you passed it, it was totally white, and that's fake because and so people that were buying that product. And they didn't get the same result at home. So they said, you cannot cheat anymore. And that's one. And secondly, all the women are beautifully nice looking, same size, small ass, big tits. And at a certain point, people didn't want to say that everybody has a nice skin, but not you, that you're watching TV. And so they say, you have to be honest. I totally agree. We have to be honest. But in a way, I mean, don't do films anymore. I mean, all the you would put Yoda. Yoda doesn't exist. I think.
Yeah, I think we need to have a reality check. I suppose it just can get too excessive at this point when it comes to certain beliefs. You know. Okay, so you mentioned that you always shoot for print and all that with regards to like publishing in magazines like Vanity Fair, Vogue, even exhibitions as well. So out of curiosity, because we always talk about print and all that, and the color accuracy is a requirement to get prints right. You already have, we discussed camera, we discussed software, we discussed lighting. How about your computer setup? I mean, Apple MacBook Pro, is it, because one of the things that people always ask is the Retina display screen is more than enough, or do you need something else to help you with understanding color accuracy?
No, I think to me, but again, it's not the truth, it's not the law, it's just what I do. To me, Retina is not good enough, and a piece is good to go and outside and making the picture, and so to see overall, I have an idea if it's good or not. This is perfect. But then you need a calibrated screen, and the best ever for me is ISO. ISO screens are really steady. You can really do as much as you want, and I definitely think that for a retoucher, without an ISO, forget it. This is not the way to do, especially in prints. I'm not saying if you go to social media, of course, nobody will see that the black are not totally black and the white are totally white. But on the business magazine, these big magazines, if the whites are not white or the black are not black, I can tell you the picture is rejected straight away. But I'm using a lot of photographers don't use anymore. Like I have a cell for the light. I measure the light, but I measure sometimes also the calorimetry of the stuff. So I have another tester, and I always put the gray panel on each picture before I do the picture. So I'm very careful on this. But if you, and the other thing is that I print always in one big format, in really big format. because on big formats you see really, first of all, it tells you if you did your job well, so it motivates you, and secondly, it shows you all the little problems that you don't see on a screen because the screen is too small. Even a 31 inch or 37 inch or more, it's still small. If you print it A1, you really see the shit. And I push everybody to print, even small print. I think this is really, really important.
Agree. I was actually inspired by you to start printing also. So that's why I got myself a printer as well, to start printing some of my works, because I think we can all agree that when we print our works, it's not just the final end game when it comes to photography, but rather to acknowledge the kind of work that we actually put in to create something. And I feel that, you know, you invest in all these megapixel count cameras, you know, high megapixel count cameras, only to actually put it up on Instagram where it's just 1 megapixel count. It just doesn't do justice to the amount of effort you put in. Yeah, so print is something anyone who's watching right now, you should try. It really gives life to your photos. Okay, all right, so what are your latest and greatest achievements so far when it comes to photography and for your own personal life as well?
That's a brilliant question. My best achievement ever, which is photography or marketing, events, brand activation, is my team. I am so proud. They're all young. Of course, when they come in, they have big assignments, so their curriculum vitae is really enhanced. But I'm so proud of them, and I'm proud of myself as well that I could take all these talents together. And again, if you see nice pictures of what I've shown you, it's not me only. It's I am part of it.
Yes.
And that's the biggest assignment. It's not an assignment, a picture or a shooting. It's really my team. It's because of my team that I will go on making pictures. Not because of the clients, not because of the picture, not because of, it's the overall experience. If you go we will do for UNICEF that shoot with the soldiers. The way I can talk with my team to that subject and go to make the subject is my team, which is important. We are doing a shooting for transgenders as well, liquid gender. So because there is a lot of homophobia at the moment.
Yes.
And we want to get onto the picture and fashion, all the different people around this world, which make the world rich, and it's 4 weeks we are working together on this, and my team brought me up like I brought my team up. So we were brought by the subject. We got better. We got better ourselves, and the pictures will be outstanding because we listen to these people, and so my team and bringing wisdom a project like this, it's really rewarding. This is my best and proudest job I do.
Awesome. And what would be your most difficult and toughest photo shoot ever?
It was the one you've shown on the rocks in Italy. It's not Africa. It's not. It's the one you've shown. Because I totally underestimated. Because when I was there, I lived that place for 7 years. So I know the place very well. I didn't have to scoot it, and that's why we went there, because we had to do the pictures quite fast. But I totally underestimate the way to move all that equipment through those rocks, and that's a total mistake on preparation.
I can imagine the pain. Okay, so a couple of years ago, there was some negativity in social media posted by others with regards to some of your works. This is something that maybe I can just show real quickly. Or do you have it on your screen? Because I did send the link over.
Yes, I will show you.
Okay, fantastic.
Wait, I have some here somewhere.
I think it's the one from Business Insider.
No, I don't have that one.
Okay.
If you want to show it.
I think there's another one that you showed at Shoot KL, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But I have it here. I have it here. If you want to, I have it here.
Yeah,
Shall I?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, please. Thank you.
Share screen. Okay, this is the. And again, that was one of the first social shooting that we were doing, and the idea was going to see these pygmies And the Pygmies, it's a tribe which are quite small, living in the woods, and they are killed by Western companies, big Western companies, because they are cutting their trees, and they are not happy, so they are in the middle of the way, and they cannot kill them because if they kill them, they go to prison. But these companies, what they do, they give them alcohol, and these people, they don't have the enzyme to digest alcohol, and they die after 2-3 weeks. And one of the companies, a French company, so a big French company. So they're cutting the trees, they're cutting, and their people, they're beautiful. They live with their country, their environment very well, much better than us. The impact on environment is much less than what we do. So they're right. No, we are not right. And so what we want to do is go into those and making this kind of picture. And this kind of picture, what was it? Was the sentence of that picture was, you see that dress? That dress, the price of that dress could have sent to school all these kids for 5 years. Okay, so to show the contrast between us,
The luxuries that we have.
Westerners, and them living much better. They're much happier than us. We are running after money and that's why. And these message, the video, has been taken by somebody called Africana TV, and they have changed the titles, saying back to the colonies. And we had a lot of nasty mails after 2 years. After 2 years, not the moment we were doing this. After 2 years, a lot of I had 31,000 death threatened. They wanted to kill me just because we using African like props. And that's not true because we pay them as actors. So we pay them all like they were actors. But they say we are using poor African for our messages. We put somebody, a white, nice model looking nice with all these kids looking. But that was the purpose, to shock people, to say, hey, we are talking about this idiot of Trump while our Western company are killing those kids. With alcohol, and they get totally alcoholic, and they cannot. In 2-3 weeks, they're dead. And so we came, and that's at least it gave us the opportunity to send a lot of money there, and to try to put them at school and things like this. So that was the purpose. But these and it went very, very, very far. If you look here, for instance, it is the profile of views on our internet. We were like 407 before we left. We got to 62,805. But also the model got threatened, death threatened.
Oh, dear.
She was crying on the next shooting, which was Mauritania. So, and the visit clicks, you have the post reach, the organic and paid ones. You see the peaks, and the peaks are according to. And that's what I liked very, very much what you said before, A-MEZ-ING. You said we communicate. We are communicators.
Yes.
And we have, and there we were not prepared enough to cope with this aggressivity and to cope with these idiots, thinking that we were racist.
Yeah.
And now we are preparing much more. But and to go into your way, when you say we have communicators, yes, we are communicators, but we have to pay attention because we have to be very clean, and we are playing a role on this communication, and we have to pay attention to what we do. So here, yes, we've been attacked wrongly, but because we were not prepared to face the contrast we were putting in, and the people, they might have been totally outraged, and I still now sometimes I have one or two saying, so where are you now? I'm coming to kill you. So often. So
crazy.
But it is our DNA. At least we brought money. We brought the film to the French company, and they stopped importing alcohol.
Oh, that's good.
And so at least we did something.
So I think the outcome is there's still a lot of positive impact that creates a difference to the lives of many that you were trying to be the voice for, and I think that's very, very commendable. Yeah, awesome. So for you guys, it's those watching at home right now. If you guys think about it, it's all a matter of perspective. This is actually a lesson in itself to actually look at a photo and try to understand the motivation behind the photo. It could be just not just a snapshot or just something to showcase fashion and beauty and all that, but behind there could actually be a story to tell. And if you dig deep enough, you can understand why there is a reason why the photographer did the shot at all in the first place. And in this case, it's a very crucial message that needs to bring to light certain exploits by corporations that just are not ethical. So this is something that's really commendable. All right. So
yes, and in this case, this shooting brought us as a client UNICEF to make 4 other shooting. So it can help your career as well to show your balls and get clients.
Yes. And this UNICEF shoot, is it happening anytime soon?
As soon as COVID will allow us to go on planes, we'll start planning all these shootings. We have at least 9 shooting to plan till May 21.
Yep.
So it's really a lot. Yeah.
Good. Okay, speaking of shoot KL, because this was the first time that you actually educated me about your reason behind the shots that you did in that particular country to showcase the plight of all those Pygmy peoples. You also shared with us some marketing ideas and there was one keyword that really stuck to my mind, the word pollination. Would you like to share a little bit more about that?
Okay, pollination. Pollination is, you know that I like to share. And the labs are and before I will make a sentence on pollination, if you allow me.
Yeah,
I would like to talk again about the labs, because this is the beginning of all the experience.
Yep.
So the labs, as you have seen, Festival de Cannes, they've been accepted in the fashion business and the cinema business so well that they want us to replicate it.
Wow.
And we are going to replicate it at least 3 times in 2021, and maybe 5 times. It will start with the Fashion Week and the Oscar in Los Angeles in March. Then we will go for the Festival de Cannes. Then we will go for Pantelleria. Then we will go in Uganda, where we're going to make the Fashion Week there. And what it is only putting together photographers with fashion designers on a subject, and to have a lab totally open and to bring the right photo which links fashion, cinema and photography. This is the idea. And we did it the last time, so it was very, very nice. A big investment, because bringing all these people, all these in a very expensive location like Cannes during the Festival de Cannes has been very, very expensive, but it worked very well.
Yep.
So as I told you before, I would like you to take care of the digital communication on all this. You didn't answer yet, but I you will be the one to animate every day the digital experience of Cannes, because I think big events like we do have to reinvent themselves. We are able to bring a lot of people there, but we have to restrain a little bit because the impact on environment is too high. Like, for instance, the football UEFA Champions League final, 80,000 people are coming in that place. 80,000 people, they fly, most of them.
Yep.
And it gets now too expensive, these things. So we want to go online, and all the people, fashion shows, fashion weeks, film festivals, they all have to reinvent themselves, having an immersive horde of people going in the event. But most of the people, they will have to live it digitally. So we have to. So I ask you officially, and I'd like you to say yes to come with us on the next assignment and take care of what you do now very, very well. And till then, you will have the time to be even better.
In Cannes, yes, definitely. I am very honored to be there. Yeah, let's do it. So guys, the Amazing Life show in Cannes live. I think that would be really epic.
Live every day. That would be epic.
Awesome,
and
awesome.
I think you will have talents in the cinema business. You will have actors. You will have directors. You will have a lot of people to interview, and that would be good. So that's one.
Yeah.
Why do I say that? Because my aim is to try to gather photographers around ideas, and because we have to sell ourselves, I had an idea to not to represent photographers, but to make a team of photographers that could work together.
Yep.
Like, when we do an event in cooking food, instead of inviting one chef, I invite two chefs, 3 stars Michelin, and they do a meal together. And so we call it a four-hand meal by two explosive guys, because they are two are 3-star Michelin. They fight together, or they don't fight, or they exchange. But at least you have something that nobody saw. And I want to do the same in photography, and that's therefore that's a second step from the labs.
Yeah.
And I took we will make the test, because next year we're going to do it 5 times as well. And I took at the moment Eugene Go, Sales Chong, Urs Recher, and myself.
Yeah.
And it's not that I represent them because they're big enough to be represented by themselves, but I take them to make a business together. And that's very clever, because if you go to a big client, and the client says, okay, you cost 5,000, 6,000 as a photographer a day. Okay, I see your pictures, nice picture. Then he asks 2 or 3 other photographers, and 2 photographers, they have the same nice pictures, not the same, but same quality.
Yep.
Okay. The people, and one is at 5,000 plus equipment plus everything, but 5,000 for him, and the other one is 3,000 for him. He will choose the 3,001 if the pictures are the same. But if I come with a strange idea, instead of 5,000, I charge him 10,000. But I tell him we do it by 2. The guy will be safe. He will be safer than with only one photographer. He doesn't care about the money. He can tell you, big assignment don't care about the money. Big companies like MasterCard, like Avis, like all the clients we work with, they just normally we are hired by the marketeer, the marketing guy, young guy. He has to say to his boss, yeah, I've chosen a nice. There are 2 photographers, not one, a little bit more expensive, but they're going to work together. So the 5,000 is part of the overall budget, 15,000, 16,000 a day. But I just add 5,000 to get advantage of all these equipment and to have the shot, to make the shot with 2 photographers. And we have already quite a few clients very interested in it. So it's kind of be creative in selling our business in a different way, not to be compared on stupid thing. But to be compared on a general creative idea.
I think this is sorry?
I told you that I talk too much.
No, it's awesome. And I think there's a lot of chatter in the chat box right now. Too many actually. Let me just scroll through really quickly. And okay. Print. Oh, Wesley says a print is a photographer's statement. Yes, I totally agree as well. Okay, this is a conversation between them, so we're gonna ignore that as well. Imagine getting punished, Oh, okay. Vicky says, imagine getting punished bringing lights to world problems. I think that's something that we were talking about just now. You know, people actually coming out with death threats and things like that. So I think it's very. I mean, I wouldn't say it's something that's heroic, but I think it's more like honorable that you actually weather all that in stride, you know, rather than giving up totally and now actually pursuing the UNICEF project. I think that's really amazing. Yeah. And Yon Zizi asks, to Awamu, how do you light the model in the bubble without seeing the reflection on the bubble? I think this was for the shot that you did in Spain, I think.
Yes. So there I have used a polarizing filter. And that's but to answer before the one before, yes, I think to be shot for a picture is not a good point, but being shot for an idea is a good point. It's worth it. We have to drag these people. You know, till now there are people eating the albinos, the albinos kids, because they think they're gonna have more force, and nobody says anything. So that's one thing. Yeah, I use the Polaroid filter on the stuff. But there's been quite a bit of Photoshop as well, because there was a person holding that ball, and we had to take it off. So there is quite a lot of Photoshop on it.
Understand. Okay, so Kamian says, unfortunately, guys, I have to go. It was a pleasure to share this time with you all. So Kamian, if you want to, you can actually watch the rest of the video on YouTube, because I will upload this as well to YouTube. And Moya, I will definitely send this link to you as well, so you can archive it for your own reference. Okay, next, I just want to personally congratulate you on being conferred the title of Broncolor Ambassador. This is something that's very recent. How do you feel about this?
Okay, this is really I am honored first of all, because it's a brand which fits exactly what I want to do for many reasons. First of all, qualitatively, it's an equipment which at any it keeps the color, because you could say it could do that and that. I use maybe 20% of the equipment that I use, the capacity, the technical capacity.
Yep.
My phase one, for instance, I use aperture, ISO, and speed. This is it. I don't know anything. I didn't even read the book of the phase one. I don't know the book. So I of course, I make some stacking and things like this, but basically I don't know the equipment. I don't want to know it. I don't want to spend time on. Same with Broncolor. I know them all, what I need. They can do everything, but the most important thing is not what they can do. For more important thing is that at any flash speed, the color is still the same. It doesn't vary. If you go on Profoto, there are 700 degree Kelvin from one speed to another. So here in Broncolor. So qualitatively, very, very, very important. So it fits what I need. It fits also by the number of shapers, modifiers, lights, flash. They have, I think it's the biggest catalog around the world in flash business. And thirdly, it is like a family, and that's my aim. I mean, my personal conviction. When I have to ask, if you take A-MEZ-ING Go, it's like family. I mean, I phone him and I say, yes, what do you think about this or that? If I phone Michel Caillet, sales rep for sales director at Broncolor, he is available. He is very, very high ranked, but he is available. It's a family run company. It has its plus and its minus, but here 80%, 90% is plus. So it's really easy to use, nice equipment, and they are listening to you. They don't listen to a shop because it is going to sell. It doesn't talk to the importer, but they talk to the users as well, the photographers. They're close to the photographers, which is not Profoto, no. For instance, because I know Profoto very well. They don't talk to you. But phase one is a little bit like this as well. They're quite close to photographers.
That's good. That's good to hear. Okay, so on a personal life level, what has changed? Because we did talk about COVID-19, that now it restricts your traveling plans and all that, and UNICEF is actually dependent on the COVID-19 to actually disappear, and I suppose that also includes things like Cannes Film Festival as well. So for yourself, on a personal level, how much impact has it caused in terms of your life?
Okay, if you said, for me, first of all, I think all problems can be seen as opportunities. And when we started being confined, we said, okay, what are the opportunities of this? And so we did, okay, we are going to make a stop and go, and we will fine tune all the process. We're going to work with my team because we were confined, but we were still working. And we made a stop saying, okay, what did we do at the moment? What was not good? What was good? And try to see the creativity. That's the first thing we did. The second thing we did is trying to find what we want to photograph in the world. And we have developed, as I've shown you, the film and cinema through cinema. We have developed 14 different projects that we want to do in the world to propose to clients. So you know how much work does it take to make one shooting? We have 14 ready to propose to many clients. So we have like a catalog of, and that has taken a lot of work, but you know, on a shooting, the preparation of the shooting is as fun as the shooting. It's like when you go on holiday, the preparation, the trip that you are going to prepare is as fun as the trip itself. So we had a lot of fun to prepare these 14 different shots. And then the other opportunity we did is that I have asked all my team and all my far away team and close team to dig into the program that we were using. Photoshop, dig into it. Capture One, dig into it. Camera Technique, dig into it. And we have developed a lot of film, so the traditional film industry. We bought a lot of films. We made a lot of tests on a product to develop, to fix. We made a lot of so that was the advantage. Now, what's the difficulty? What came up with? Of course, in my main business, we're gonna make a loss, not a loss of money, but a loss of turnover, 3 to 4 million euros. But we are a good company, and we don't fear that. And I think we have very huge clients, and my client says we are partners, not in difficult time, in nice time, but we are partners in difficult times as well. So I'm blessed there for my clients. It's because we're working for them since more than 10 years, and that's not a big deal. But the problem now is we cannot plan. I have at least 9 to 10 shooting to do before May 21, and I cannot plan anything. I have a shooting in Philippines. I have a shooting in India. I have a shooting in Vietnam. I have a shooting in Oman. I have a shooting, and I cannot plan. I cannot say, normally what we do to make a shooting in Philippines, we're looking the weather. The weather is good at February, March for what we want to do. Okay, but we cannot plan it now, because if you try to have a ticket at the moment, it will be, first of all, 3 times the price, and secondly, they cannot guarantee you. So that's a little bit of a problem. We are depending on airlines and what is the future of COVID. But that's the only problem. It has been an opportunity for us. Of course, unfortunately, it's been a drama for the world. And I am really sorry for all these people. They died. But to us, it has been an opportunity, really.
It's good. So right now you what do you call that? Having plans already made up for 2021 is just a matter of time. I really hope that the COVID-19 pandemic will be over soon, and I really hope that they can find the vaccine or even the cure, so that we can actually get back to a new normal. I wouldn't say go back to normal, because the old normal really sucked. It wasn't good. It really showed the worst in humanity. But I think where we look forward to, it's moving forward, coming up to a new normal. I hope humanity will actually take this as a huge lesson, and to cherish whatever we have, because the planet is right now healing. I mean, like, you look at the news right now, you can see that things are starting to flourish again when the human touch is no longer there, right? So hopefully everything will get back to a new normal, and we can proceed with all our plans for businesses and things like that. So you also run workshops hosting photographers from all over the world. The last one, I think, being Sales Chom. Do you plan to run any more workshops similar to this as well?
Yes, that's my purpose. You know that I like to exchange a lot. I am really willing to show the world photographers, and it went very, very well, because we created with all these workshops really a family here in Luxembourg of Broccolo users and photographers, and I want to do that. That's for sure. Now there is 3 workshops which normally are planned still this year, end of the year, which is in Africa.
Yep.
And one is with Urs Recher.
Oh, nice.
Because I would like him to make a workshop on one light setup. He's the best to use only one light. And African photographers, young ones, they don't have the money to buy a lot of equipment. So we want to come with some equipment to give, which would be Xeros, and to explain them that with one Xeros, one shaper, and maybe white cardboards, they can make a beautiful and very, very professional picture.
Yes.
So that's one. I call it the one flash workshop in Africa.
Wow.
And then we will invite international. If somebody wants to attend, it will be open to international photographers or passionate as well, just for them to meet a way to do business which is really, really not like we do, and which is always difficult for them, and that's one track. The second thing is that for other people, I would like to show in Senegal what Sail Strong does. And there we will make, because Ours will be more like studio shooting, and sales will be outdoor. How do we shoot outdoor? And that's I would like to bring sales in Africa to make a workshop of his own.
Yes.
And then I will do the same. And all these three workshops will be done with the auspices of the universities on site.
Okay.
Universities on site will be there as well. And then we will organize in Luxembourg, and everybody welcome. We will publish it, a workshop the first week of September. And if I would be delighted if people in Asia invite me to a lecture or an half day or a day or 2 days, and any workshop, I am totally open because I love to share.
Yeah, and I think your sharing sessions are really, really awesome. I mean, like to be honest, when I attended Shoot KL, even though I was another guest speaker, but to actually sit down and listen to your sharing session, that to me was a life changer. I told my wife back then it was a life changer because I walked out having this massive ideation in my head festering right now, and I just want to go out there and do something that's really great. And I guess this is what transpired. I mean, over time, I mean, like I was looking for something else to evolve into, but COVID-19, like you said, presented itself as a ground for opportunity as well. And I guess that's how the live streaming thing happened. All these things all coming together. So thank you so much for that. All right. Okay, so now we come to the one of my last few questions. What's your dream plan or gear? You know, you already have your brown color, you have the phase one. You already said these are the best of the best ready. But what else do you want to get out of to maybe evolve in your photography?
To myself, I think equipment-wise, and I am a little bit ashamed to say it, I have everything. And if I need something, I'll take it. Just because, fortunately, and I'm sorry to be so arrogant, but I sell my pictures quite well, and they are profitable, and I can at least have the equipment that I want. So it's a kind of situation you have when you are a bit older and you are more established in the photography world. The second thing I really would like to do, but this is a wishful thinking, is to try to federate the professional around a code of conduct. Meaning, and that's one thing I really would love to do it, and maybe put a team, a task force for it, to let understand the people the impact of a photographer could have on social, positive and negative. And secondly, the way of not only this, but also to have a kind of an idea of how to sell yourself.
Yeah.
There are so many good photographers, so many young people, they sell themselves for nothing. I have here a studio, 400 square meters, but close to me there are 3 other studios, 1,000 square meters, 700 square meters, which is for film. And I see photographers coming and making films about the film shooting, doing it for free because they want to meet actors, or they want to meet the cinema talents, and they do it for free, and they do beautiful picture. But they don't understand that they are suing the branch on which they are seated.
Yeah.
And the problem of photography nowadays is that people, they don't sell themselves. They just want to be published, or they just want to make the picture of something, and then they don't charge themselves. And all these young talents, there are so many young talents, and especially in the Asian world, they're so talented. But they don't find the clients. Why? Because clients are not used to pay anymore. When you put down your pences, they ask you earn the pence. So it's easy for them to
ask for more. Yeah.
We should stop selling our pictures so less.
Yep.
It's a shame.
It is. I think we have one person ask a very awesome question here. I think it's very relevant to what we were talking about just now. if this is from Yon ZZZ, if this COVID problem continues for a few more years, what's the next best thing a photographer can do?
Okay, so first of all, the COVID will never disappear. We will have to live with it. We will have maybe medic, things like this, but we will have to live with it. So first of all, first thing, plan your shooting according the regulations of, and that's a little bit more nasty, but you know, wearing a mask for Asian countries is normal, but for Western countries is not normal. Wear a mask.
Yeah.
Take for instance, we have to go with one team to shoot end of June. We have to shoot in Lago di Como. We don't go by plane, we go by car because we know the people there are in the car, so we mix a little bit less. So that's first thing. Second thing, don't forget that the COVID period, the lockdown has created no professional picture. So the magazines are now running out of stories and are now running out of pictures.
Yep.
So those are opportunities for you to, and a lot of magazines, even the photo magazines, they're running out of pictures. So, and out of good pictures, I'm saying, and out of picture with a message, with an editorial line, they're missing. So I have already some magazines asked us a lot of things because they want, as soon as we can, we have to shoot because they need the info. And then I think the problem will be more for photographers like me that they travel a lot, because I think plane will be more expensive, I guess.
Yep.
And moving to countries will be a little bit more difficult. But therefore, we have to show on our internet, on our digital media, that we are COVID ready. Okay, that the shooting that we do for the model, for the makeup artist, makeup artist will not do, or the model will not do with a mask, but maybe with a glass window.
Yep.
So we have to prepare all this, and nothing will change. I think the only thing, even more, I think we will be more on digital media. So there are some really projects that we will be able to show more. We have to be clever.
And touching on what you said about preparing for being COVID ready for photo shoots and things like that, I think this is just a sidetracking a little bit for those viewers in Singapore right now. You're a photographer. Stay tuned until the end because I'm actually going to share with you guys a little bit about what's going to happen in the next coming few weeks. Basically, the Professional Photographers Association of Singapore, or the PPAS, is going to have a town hall meeting online. I believe it's on the 3rd of June, and I'll share more information about that later. But basically, there is going to be like a sharing of guidelines and SOPs, or standard operating procedures, on how to conduct your shoots when you know the COVID-19 circuit breaker is eased down a little bit. So I think this is something for photographers at home to tune in. It's going to be really beneficial for you, and not just photographers, but even the process will also have to be including all the stakeholders in the photo shoot. For example, makeup artists, stylists, even the models. So if you guys are any of those, you know, even digital techs and assistants, come on during the town hall to actually understand what is going to be done in the near future for us. All right. So yeah.
If I can add something there,
yes.
Mesame?
Sure.
Ask them to, because it's a very nice way to do it, and they did it here as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would propose to them, is giving to the people they have been there or they have been controlled, like a certificate of COVID ready. That will help you a lot for your clients.
Yes.
Because you can show on your internet site where I am COVID ready, and
Yeah.
that will be very safe for some of your clients.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
And you install it. You ask them, because it's the Association of Photographers in Singapore. Ask them to install a check. Okay, are you? And then you have a stamp, and then it's like a plus in comparison with other photographers which are not professional.
I think that's a very good point to bring up. I think during the town hall, I'll definitely have a chance to speak about it. Maybe I can share the idea, or even try to share the idea before we actually go into the town hall, because I do have contacts with some of the committee members as well. In fact, I'm actually a committee member, so I can just bring it up to the team first. Yes. Okay. So, what do you hope to see change in the photography industry?
It was what I was saying before. It's just a regulation on prices.
Yep. Yep.
I'm not saying that the prices should be all the same broadband, but I want the people selling them for the reasonable price. We have to accept that photography is art.
Yes, it
It's
is.
not because my cousin or my uncle or my brother does beautiful picture because they just bought the new Nikon or the new Sony or the new Panasonic. Is it, that's no. The commercial photography is also an art. It is a business,
Yep.
and it's not because it's fun for a lot of people that they have to think that that it's a hobby. It's
Yes.
not an hobby for most of us, and we are selling something. And my what I would like to change is this: is that every single country they have professional photographers and they're recognized at a certain price. It is existing in films. You cannot go less than 600, 800 euros a day or USD a day for a technician in cinema, or
Yep.
500. But that's at least the minimum. Here I see photographers, they don't charge anything.
Yep.
They couldn't do something commercial. They should just do their hobby. Perfect. But that's not what I call the professional photographer.
Just don't go into the wrong branch and saw it off, just like you said. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think Johan says, I think it happens in every industry, professionals undercutting each other until it's worth nothing, not just photography. But I guess for us photographers, we just have to work together to avoid that kind of scenario. And I think it's all about education as well, educating the younger ones who are turning a hobby into their own business as well for livelihood. They need to understand certain aspects of charging shouldn't be to the point where it kills the industry rather than help it flourish. And I think that's very important. Okay, we had one question just now. Let me just scroll up. It was a pretty interesting question. Other than practice, how do you improve in photography?
I improve a lot by the project that I have.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one. Meaning that as soon as I decide, okay, I'm going to develop that project, even if I don't do it, but I'm going to develop it. How I'm going to film it? What is the purpose of it? What's the content? What's the editorial? I learn in photography because at a certain point I will have to do one picture I never did.
Yep.
And so I have to test it and make it. And I improve a lot. So in my mind, I always say, okay, which are the subjects I want to do? How would I do them? And automatically I see, how can I do this? Difficult to do it technically. That brings another idea. And then you dig into internet, you dig into books, you dig into your knowledge, and you dig into what you do, and you say, okay, I would do it like this, even if you don't do it. But at least you have learned a passage to that picture. That's one thing I learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a workaholic. No Saturday, no Sunday evenings, so don't do that. And the second thing is, as I told you before, I am a sponge.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned a lot watching everybody. And people saying, photographers saying, also friend photographers saying, I'm not looking the other photographers, I am the first one of what I do. And yes, fair enough, that's your way. I mean, it's not because I'm watching everything that I'm copying.
Yep.
I have been watching, I came to photography with Sales Strong, looking Sales Strong, and I never made a same picture of Sales Strong. I never copied. There are some people in Asia copying Sales Strong, and you can really be, okay, this is quite the same picture as Sales Strong, but it's not right because something stinks.
Yeah.
So I'm not copying, but I'm watching everybody. And third, making workshops. As you said very well before, you're thrilled in a workshop. Whatever is your level, whatever photographer you are, you're thrilled in the workshop. Because even if the workshop didn't change, didn't teach you something, at least you are so motivated. Then when you come back from the workshop, wow, I'm going to do this and this. And
Yep.
So these are the 3 points. And when you go you told me, and thank you for this, that you learned that you were thrilled by my presentation. It's not because you have learned something. It's because somebody has triggered the your creativity
Yes.
to do better, to do further, and that's what you do. So that's the main point. So very much go to workshops, attend to workshop. It's worth it. It's worth the money. The best workshop in Asia made by Eugene Go.
Yeah.
So you go to Guangzhou,
That's true.
Singapore, and Malaysia, and go to Eugene and see what he does, and participate of what he
Yes.
does. Because
Yep.
when I go there, even if I am a confirmed photographer, I can tell you that I am boosted.
I think Eugene actually does come up with a lot of very wonderful events, and I think these events are not just beneficial for photographers in the local industry, but to the ones in the region, because as local photographers start to become better from attending workshops, I mean, they learn from themselves, and then it just manifests, right? And then it spreads, and then they just travel over in the region to start doing their own shoots. Other people start watching, and everybody becomes a sponge as well, and then everybody learns from each other, and you can see that the standards will rise again. In fact, I think this is one of the few ways that we can actually start looking at how the industry can move up together in terms of standards, not just in terms of pricing, but in standards as well, because everybody's like like they find excuses like, oh, I just have a camera, so I'm just going to shoot something, but it's just a snapshot. There's no storytelling, there's no thought put into it. It's just like that, so big deal. But here we actually want to create an element of storytelling, and I think that's very important as well. Right? Okay, so we are taking some questions right now. We do have a few minutes left, and I think, well, to be honest, we did exceed the time, but this is a very wonderful episode, and Moya, you always share, and that's why I didn't stop you. I was like, wow, this is so good. Not just for myself, of course, but to all the viewers at home right now. But yeah, we are accepting questions before we wrap up. In the meantime, while people are thinking of formulating your questions, I'm just gonna show them your social media links, if I may. So right now, I'm just gonna share real quickly your website. Okay, I'm just gonna link them in what do you call that? What is this? Zoom always acts funny. Okay, there we go. Just give me a sec. Zoom is just acting weirdly right now. Why is this thing open? It should be closed. Okay, there we go. Right. So right now, what I'm showing you guys at home, this is AWAMU Moja's website. So I'm just gonna put the link in his chat box, so you guys can see for yourself his works. It's really fantastic. He's got a video section. You can see his behind the scenes. He has a blog. You can read his thoughts. If you're interested in the workshop, you can actually click on it and see when's the next workshop, because I know for sure right now we do not have any active workshops coming up, but the past workshops, you can read about them as well. It's really brilliant. Okay, like what Yon says, marketing god indeed. Right? So he actually has everything up here, open to all. You can freely look at it, and just immerse yourself in the world of AWAMU Moja, and look at his studio. It's phenomenal. I saw your studio first on Instagram, and I was like, dream setup, dream location right there. Okay, and give him a follow on his Instagram as well. All right. His Instagram is the same namesake as his company, AWAMU Moja. So just head over there as well. You can take a look at some of his previous works. It's really, really breathtaking. Okay, you can even see the kind of work that he does. Okay, sorry about that pop-up. It just appeared out of nowhere, reminding me to log in for some strange reason. And let me just refresh. There we go. Okay, so take a look at that as well. There are so many works here, and I think, Emily, if you're watching this, I'm pretty sure you're very, very fascinated and very, very inspired by this, because I know your style. You want to evolve into something similar, and I always urge Emily. Emily's actually one of my crew assistants, and I always urge her to not just think how other photographers think. Look at them, watch, learn, create your own voice, and do your own thing. And I think that resonates with what you said just now, Moja. Basically, be a sponge, watch and learn, and try to make your own, rather than copy wholesale and then create something that no one can distinguish your work from other people. I mean, like, I'll have to say this: there are some countries out there with so many Sales Chong clones, but there's only one Sales Chong. And when you look at the rest of the works that tries to be like Sales, you can tell it's just not the same. Doesn't have the same voice, So there's that as well. But yeah. right now we're just accepting questions. If you guys got any questions, feel free to just pop them in the chat box. Tomo Hitogo says that yes, let's improve everyone's standards and read. Don't just watch videos. Read everything. That's true. Reading is very important. All right. Some folks are like, wow, can't believe that it's been what 2.5 hours. They just passed like that. I think that's really awesome. When you learn something, time doesn't feel that it's a long stretch. It just goes like that. All right. Eric says very bright, positive, and optimistic talks from AWAMU as always. Thanks a lot. Yeah, and Wesley says everyone is turning to digital illustrations during this period when no photography work can be done. Well, not really. I'm live streaming, doing something different. Even AWAMU MOJA also, if you follow him on Instagram, you can occasionally he goes into the live section and does a live video, so you can actually ask him questions one on one. Do you have a schedule when you do your live in Instagram, MOJA?
Not at the moment, because we have a very, very large shooting going on next week.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna post it next Monday or Tuesday, and that will be only question and answer. And basically, our strength, it's very much into marketing.
Yeah.
And I wanna answer young photographers to promote and to sell themselves.
Okay.
And if you follow on our Instagram, we will do more and more. When we go for shooting in Filipinas, in South Korea, in India, we're gonna propose young photographers to be assistants.
Oh, awesome.
It will not be paid, but we will pay all the expenses to move them, to feed them on site. But we would like to, instead of bringing people from outside or bringing people we don't know, we would like to push a little bit the young photographers to share with us a shooting life moment.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that most probably I will learn a few things as well, and they will learn a lot as well. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah.
I think that's going to be really useful, especially for the young ones. You know, that even though they are not getting paid, but they will be learning so much. I think this is something that's very important, and the fact that you're actually willing to cover their expenses, that's even more. It's better. I would definitely want to go. You know, let me know if it's possible.
Okay, very good. A photographer like you, I will learn a lot.
Oh no! I will learn a lot from you, sir. Okay, so with that, I think there's no more questions. Everyone's like very happy. I think are you guys at home happy? If you are, just say yes in the chat box. I think it's been a very wonderful session today, especially that so much to learn, so much to think about. Last week we had Earthracker join us on the channel, sharing with us lighting setup and things like that. And today you're actually talking about the back end, the business aspect, the preparations. I think these two combined together, technicalities and the business, is a very nice combination for any photographer, and that's something that really solidifies what this channel is all about, trying to make people or help people understand that in photography it's not just about taking photos, but it's about the business, the technicalities, and the storytelling. I think this is something that's really, really awesome. Yon says a great session for AWAMU, not so much for the photo techniques, but you can get that from YouTube. The best part is the part that not many will share for free, so thank you very much. So yeah, that's really awesome. Okay, so with that, AWAMU, thank you so much for being on this channel. I will definitely speak to you in a bit after the show. I'm gonna put you on mute first, and then after that I'm just gonna talk a little bit about what the PPS actually has planned for in the upcoming 3rd of June. Is that okay? Yeah, so
thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Following, and thank you so much. I'm honored, and I really made 2 hours, 2.5 hours, very, very nice. Very nice
Yes,
with you.
thank you. Thank you. And I'll definitely see you in Cannes next year.
Very good, very good. Thank you for this.
Thank you. Right, muting you in 3, 2, 1. Okay, guys at home, right now we're going to talk about something a little bit more serious. Okay, I'm just going to drag this over here. Okay, close. Alright, so you guys can see the screen, right? So right now there's actually the upcoming town hall meeting on the 3rd of June at 2 p.m. So this is actually the link. I'm just going to put it on Facebook, on Twitch chat box right now. Okay. So if you are a Singaporean photographer, or even if you are a photographer from elsewhere, you have any pressing concerns with regards to the industry at the moment, you can probably tune in as well to have a learn session. Right now we do have a registration that is open right now. You can actually join the registration to get a seat. Okay, and we'll send you what do you call it, an email to confirm your attendance for this particular town hall meeting. So basically, this town hall meeting is all about the COVID-19's impact on the photography industry and how we are actually going to go into the new normal. Now, I always say the new normal, and a lot of people echo this as well, because the new normal is the new kind of way of livelihood. I mean, like it or not, we have to face the facts, right? COVID-19 has such a huge impact on the whole world that things are no longer the same. We are no longer able to just walk out freely without any care and concern. Now it's just about making sure that all preparations are made to ensure the safety of all who go for a photo shoot, including ourselves, including our makeup artists, digital techs, etc., etc. Okay, everybody who's involved in a particular in a photo shoot, right? So the PPS Town Hall is basically all about safety protocols, and we're gonna actually share with them to the masses who are tuning in, and we really hope that you guys can come in on as well and be a member of the PPS, because right now, working together, only together can we actually have one voice that can create a positive impact for the industry by having it heard by the powers that be. All right, so we also will talk about when we are allowed to work again, because right now there is a lot of talk online, even a petition going around, which you know, it's not an official thing, but it has been going around. I've seen it on social media. People have asked me before about my opinions. To be honest, I don't really pay attention to the petition, because petitions don't go anywhere so much as compared to going through the proper channels and talking to relevant authorities, which is what the PPS has been doing. And so I strongly urge you to actually attend this town hall, so you can actually town hall meeting, so that we can actually have a better understanding of what's to happen for our industry, and more importantly about the safety guidelines and protocols that we have to adhere to make sure that when we go back into our shoots, everything will be safe. Okay, so this is very important because the PPS does, like what Eugene says on the chat box, we are currently working with a set of guidelines from the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and so this is really the as official as it gets. Okay, so this concerns everyone in the industry. All right, so lastly, I just want to give a shout out to myself. If you guys want to show support for this channel, again, this is actually how you can show support for the channel, and at the same time get yourself some Razer Silver, so you can redeem some epic Razer loot like keyboards, headsets, mice, you know, things that you can use to bling your gaming workstation or even your professional workstation, because I do use Razer products for my work as well. The keyboard is just fantastic. All right, so there is a QR code in there. You can just use it to scan your phone. Please use the Razer Gold to buy shards to show support for the tip stream, because this actually will give you the Razer Silver. You can still use it with PayPal, but I don't think you can get Razer Silver from that, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so what's gonna happen in the upcoming episode of the Amazing Live Show? We're gonna have another photographer, this time from Singapore. We're gonna have Siobhan Wong. Yep, she's gonna be on the channel on the 2nd. Oh yeah, it's supposed to be 2nd of June. Why did it say 2nd of May? 2nd of June, guys. 2nd of June is on Tuesday. This is probably a mistake. Let me just rectify that on the spot right now. Welcome to my live stream show. I will just pick up another image because that was another file. Just give me a sec. This is not right. Well, you guys know Murphy, right? If Murphy is on the shot, on the spot, he'll be around and screw you over. And this is probably one of the things that shouldn't be here, but somehow I made it here. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull Siobhan Wong over. There we go. That's right. This is the correct correct date. So yes, Siobhan will join me on the 2nd of June at 8 p.m. and she's wonderful. She's an awesome photographer, fashion photographer as well, who has made it to the Forbes Under 30 list. And she was actually one of the photographers for Asia's Next Top Model as well. So if you guys want to be inspired by a photographer who has done it all in Singapore for fashion photography and gone beyond and shot in the States as well, yes, do check out the channel. All right, so do follow the channel, my Twitch channel, so you guys can be informed and notified via email when we go live the next time. So with that, thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you so much for joining me and AWAMU MOJA today. And AWAMU MOJA has been really fantastic. Do show your support by following the channel and sticking on with our schedule. We do stream from Tuesdays on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Singapore time and Saturdays at 5 p.m. Singapore time. I'm no longer streaming on Friday. Please take note of that. It's not because I don't want to. It's because I do need that stretch of time for a break. Okay, so stop go. Just like what our MOJA said just now. Right? Don't go all the way and then after that kill yourself in the end. All right. Random Sinner, great stream. Thanks for filling our time in SG Knowledge. Thank you so much. Yes, do follow this channel so you guys can be instilled with great knowledge. Okay, so we do have some other epic photographers coming up. Do follow my blog. I will put those details up as well on that particular channel. All right. So with that, thank you so much. I'm just gonna share my social media one more time. So give me a follow on any of my socials.
Satellite link established.
There we go. Jarvis is so awesome. Jarvis has got a female voice. I like that about Jarvis. Okay, so do follow my socials and I'll see you guys on Tuesday at 8 p.m. So take care of yourselves, stay safe. I'll see you. Bye bye.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation.
On 3, 1, 2.